Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing good myself. The two nonverbal cues that I chose were gaze and facial expression of emotion. Gaze is where we direct our eye contact during communication, and it can, show intentions, interest, confidence, like how disinterested someone is, if they're uncomfortable in the situation, if they're trying to get out of something. And then facial expressions of emotion are just kind of the movements our face naturally makes in reaction to something, or kind of what our true emotions are expressing when we're talking about something. So you might say one thing but mean something else. So the example of gaze that I thought about this was a little while ago, but I was like having a conversation with one of my really good friends. I won't give too much detail because it's kind of personal, but I was kind of like confronting him about something that had happened, and I like brought it up to him as something really important that we had to talk about. And he was very like eye contact the whole time, like he was very interested in what I had to say, and like obviously cared because I said it was something that was important. And then when I actually brought up the topic, and he, kind of the eye contact he had started shifting around the room, looking down at his feet, kind of showing that sign of like he feels he did something wrong. So he looked down, like darting eyes around the room, hard to make eye contact because, he feels like he did something wrong, and I called him out on it. So, like, I think it was very effective in that situation to just kind of like, I don't know, depict like what he was feeling, because obviously like he tried to defend himself, and I called him out on it. I'm like, dude, like I can tell that you're lying, whatever, like tell by the lack of eye contact. So definitely effective reading that, and me kind of staring him at him the whole time put more pressure on him to feel that way. So that was an effective use of gaze as well. For facial expressions, there's a lot of examples you can use. So a lot of the time when I talk to my mom, she never wants me to think that she's in a bad mood or she's going through something, because she just cares about keeping me safe and stuff. So a lot of the time, if I FaceTime her while I'm at school or now I'm home, I see her all the time, but she always has this need to make me feel good. And sometimes if I ask her how she's doing, she'll say, oh, I'm doing great, but I can tell like after she says that how her mood can change with her facial expressions, or her body movements, like not smashing things, but like putting down a cup on the table harder than she normally would, like something like that. And the facial expressions of not darting eyes, but quick eyes, and just kind of on alert. Overall, I think nonverbal cues are very essential to listening and interpersonal communication. Paying attention to the eye contact someone's making and their facial expressions, tone, their actions, it helps us understand what someone's really trying to convey and not just what they're saying. It can help us, call someone out if you can tell they're lying, or just understand what they're saying more thoroughly. If their eye contact and facial expressions match their words, it makes it more thoughtful and meaningful. Thank you. Have a nice night.